Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon and Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of December. Good grief. Happy holidays, everyone. I can barely believe this is the last YouTube reading of 2020 that I will be doing for you. It's quite momentous in and of itself. Obviously, it's going to be shorter than the main monthly reading because it's just covering that 2-week period. But I have done, if you are interested, 6 months general overview for the collective for January to June 2021. That's over on Vimeo. There's a link down in the description box. I think it's reasonably priced for what it is. It's an hour and a half long. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, you know what to do. Oh, Ball family. It's been quite the journey this year. I'm feeling all kind of emotional about it all, actually. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get some cards down on the table. So we are, as usual, looking for the lesson in the energy that you find yourself in at the moment. So in order to isolate exactly what that is, we need to look at your energy. So that will be the first 3 cards. The second 3 cards will be the lesson that we've been looking for. And the final 3 cards will be some advice. And hopefully that will all make sense if it didn't make sense to you just then, by the time I get the cards down on the table. I'm going to try not to pull any clarifiers, but you know what I'm like. I'll just do what I want, basically. So let's have a look. I have 3 cards for Taurus's current energy, please. Whew. So we have the 10 of Cups, the 8 of Cups, and Judgment. Intriguing. We've got the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. Also followed by the Knight of Cups and the High Priestess. Yeah, it feels like you're in a period of reflection at the moment. If we just jump straight to the Major Arcana card, which is Justice. I'm going to see that with the light. Justice. What the fuck? Judgment. Thank you. Judgment is about resurrection, right? Sometimes it can be about, having a judgment on something, and that may well be applicable here. But often it talks about the resurrection of old circumstances, whether actually physically or in our head. Now, the fact that the Hermit card is here at the bottom of the deck, the Shadow card, it makes me feel like you're in a period of contemplation at the moment. You're doing a bit of reflecting, and maybe it's because the year is drawing to an end now, and you're kind of looking over the year at things. And it's interesting, there's equal parts contentment, and I'm not going to go as far as to say sadness, because I don't feel like it is sadness exactly. Like I said, it's reflective, it's contemplative. This 8 of Cups, this 8 of Cups energy that we've got here, it talks about moving away from things, and the contemplation that seems to have occurred is the contemplation of what it is that you have left behind, because you've left a lot behind this year, Taurus, and you've done it in the most extraordinary way. But with this 10 of Cups, there's a contentment in what you have. There's a contentment in who you have around you at the moment. You've left people behind, people have left you behind, whichever way it's gone, and you're just kind of thinking about it. Sitting with the energy of it all. And this is a really good space to be in, to be looking for a lesson. So let's have a look at the lesson. I mean, it seems pretty obvious what it is. Shit. If you're going to be extracting a lesson out of anything, if you're going to be looking for the wisdom that's contained within your actions and experiences, you need to be able to sit with it. And you are, and this is important, isn't in and of itself as well, because there's no overthinking about this here. There's just feeling, but the feeling is not like this. It's not being pulled apart and overanalyzed. It's just sitting with it, holding space for it. So tell me about the lesson for Taurus, please. I knew she was going to come out at some point. Oh God, that's my hip. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny actually. These 2 cards came out over and over again in your 6-month reading. we've got the Two of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck, but we also have the Six of Pentacles right in the center here. So we have the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and we have the High Priestess. And I have to say, she made quite an exquisite appearance too. And I love this. I actually really love this for you, because the Three of Pentacles is all about cooperation and collaboration. And it's like what you have been reflecting upon is how you can show up in the world authentically, how you can have authentic relationships without compromising any part of you, right? And by compromising and showing up, you know, not compromising, and by showing up authentically, what I mean by that is not over investing in people. Point number one. Not allowing people to over invest in you either, because that's not healthy. But there's something here about not taking what is offered just because it's there. I'm looking at this bird here, and it's kind of plucking the low-hanging fruit off the tree there. You know, there's been a great deal of refinement in the people that you've got around you this year. Like I said, some people have left you behind, you've left some people behind, like they just weren't supposed to be here now. And there's been important lessons here in having standards, having a level of discernment, right? You know, just because somebody shows you some attention initially, it does not mean that you are required to reciprocate. You know, you've got to use your discernment, you've got to use your intuition about people, you've got to use your judgment. And I think so many of you were so lonely this year that you put up with having people around you who just were not good for you at all, because it was better than being alone. And I think you've shifted now, and you'd rather be alone than around the wrong people. And the reason that you've managed to do that, the reason that you've managed to take this shift and make it here, is because you realise there's nothing terrible about being alone with yourself. You know, you're actually pretty good company. You've actually managed to learn a lot about the way that you work internally, because you've had that bit of space away from other people, and it's enabled you to start looking for balance. The energy that you're in at the moment, this reflective, contemplative energy, is allowing you to really cement what it is that you want to take into 2020 with you, and it's balance, right? Not only is it balance, but it's building with the right people. And the other thing is this. It's glorious. I love her so much. It's the High Priestess. And I love that she's here, because she's prominent next year as well, right? She indicates that wisdom that comes from within, and the connection to something other than you. You know, she is in some ways a channel. And we had a lot of discussions this year, Taurus, about the difference between intuition and the nagging voice that tells you that you're wrong, the voice that kicks you in the teeth every time you think you've got somewhere with something and makes you feel shit about yourself, you know? And I also said that we've spoken at length about emotional literacy. Because emotion and, you know, understanding of your emotion and being able to hear your intuition, two things run very, very close together. And as you have become more emotionally literate, as you are dealing with only your emotions now instead of everybody else's that you've been internalizing, so you've been able to hold that still place, the one that you're in right now, that allows your intuition to speak and allows your intuition to guide you. And I can't tell you how fucking awesome that is compared to where you were this time last year. You know, the level of work that's gone on internally is exceptional. 2020 has been a hell of a year, and you've used the energy beautifully. But these two cards here, get used to seeing them, because they're prominent for you a lot. But I actually like that for you, because it's not about the need for these things, it's about it being present in your mind. you know, and whenever you feel like you're swaying too far in one direction, you are able to bring yourself back. I love it. Let's get some advice, please. Can I have some advice for Taurus? Some advice for Taurus. Wow. Oh, this is amazing. So, in terms of advice for the last 2 weeks of December, the shadow card at the bottom of the deck is the Devil. That's the card of Capricorn. But it's also about the things that bind us, the fears that keep us stuck in a situation or stuck with people, or make us feel disempowered and like we can't get out of it. There's sometimes the feelings that make us become dependent on substances and alcohol and anything to numb the pain, you know. It's fear, ultimately, is what this is. The advice cards are the Seven of Swords, the World, and the Six of Wands. Now, this Seven of Swords, it often means deception. But I don't feel that for you here, because the other interpretation for it is risk, and actually that's what I'm feeling here. You know, like risk it for a biscuit kind of energy. You're always going to be a fixed sign. You're Taurus, you're fixed Earth. As such, you are the slowest moving of all of the signs. It's not your fault, it's just what, and it's not even a fault situation. It is just how you operate. You like what you know, and you know what you like, and broadly, you're not really interested in sabotaging that, because that's sometimes how it's felt, sabotaging that in favor of new and exciting things, right? Because you've got your comfy corner, you've got your comfy little bit of the universe, and that's all good. But I sense an emboldening about your energy, Taurus. There is more of, it's not an urge, but just every now and again feeling like you can just push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone from where you would usually go. Take a little risk. Be a little bit spontaneous. You know, that's as if to really prove the point, there is the Knight of Wands. You know, and this comes from being very present where you have never been that way before. You've been stuck in the past quite often and catastrophizing about the future, and never truly showing up as you are in the present. That's all changing. And the advice is to go with that. If you feel like having, you know, doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, do it. In the last 2 weeks of this year, well, fuck it. You know, it's been a shit show every year. Let your hair down a little bit. Have a little bit of fun. Tell me about the Seven of Swords, please. Swords. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. Shit. In the event that you are offered an opportunity to do something that you wouldn't normally do, do it, because there's something in there for you. I see that quite strongly. And, you know, by new opportunity, I mean, you know, go somewhere that you've never been. You know, do something a bit spontaneous. Maybe, you know, you're in a lower tier than the rest of us in the fucking north, and you can actually go to, you know, a pub or something like that. If you're in the UK, of course. Shit. Go do something you haven't done before. Meet some new people. Yeah? Let your hair down a little bit, Taurus, just for the last 2 weeks of the year, because you'll really get something out of it. The World. Allow things to end. Right? This whole year has been pretty intense for everyone, but it's been really intense for you, Taurus. You've been doing so much work internally, as well as panicking about your security externally as well. Like, you've come so very, very fucking far. It's time to let it end. Oof. Yeah, like walk away from anything that's giving you any grief at the moment. Let it end, let it drop, just move away from it. You know, we've got the Five of Wands in reverse, we've got the Tower in reverse. Like, you're not courting drama, you don't want it, and you don't need it. Nobody needs it. But it's interesting how both of these cards are talking about what's going on outside of you, not inside of you. And I think that's quite important. This reflective internal energy that you've got going on is all very well and good. But do you know what? You need to see the year out nicely. So, you know, go and see friends, go and see family. Do something that you haven't done before. Even if you're feeling particularly spicy, do something that scares you a little bit. I've got the Justice card at the bottom of the deck. It's been some big karmic lessons for you this year, and you are graduating, Taurus. 2021 is going to be very different, and it's going to be very different because you are different. Importantly, Six of Wands. Six of Wands, please. None. I think the Six of Wands here is asking you to not only contemplate those things that are lost and the lessons and all those kind of important things, but to allow yourself a small amount of pride in how far you've come, right? It's not unbecoming to have pride when you have got through something, yeah? And you have got through something this year. It's been profound. And it's been the first step, the first year in a journey of spiritual awakening that is going on for you here. Let's see if there's another deck that wants to speak to me. It might be that there's already a card out that wanted to come out again. Tell me about the Six of Wands, please. Four of Wands, Ace of Swords, Knight of Wands again. Yeah, man. Have a bit of fun. There's the Magician at the bottom of the deck. You're so much stronger, you're so much more empowered, you're so much more in tune with what it is that you can do for yourself. Like, I've done personal readings with you lot. I know how far you've come. I've heard some incredible stories this year, yeah, and it's humbling to witness the work that has occurred here. But be proud, because you have built a new foundation for yourself. You have new insights into you and your purpose in the world. You may not have the purpose yet, but you're giving yourself permission to occupy a space which is not something that you did before, and that should be welcomed, that should be valued. And allow your spontaneous side to show a little bit. You've earned it. That's beautiful. Right, I'm going to leave it there, Taurus. I love you all so very, very much, and I will see you for the January 2021 monthly read, unless I see you before for the 6-month one. All right, take care.